Hey guys, it's Ria Michelle, and welcome to yet another beautiful day that God has blessed us with. This is a new playlist that I've started, the testimonies and story times, and I am going to start with my first testimony. So, about 6.5 years ago, I struggled with my first real bout of depression. During that time, it was 2014, and during that time, I just remember feeling like my world was crashing down because I was a young adult, really just getting my start to kind of doing my own thing in my life and trying to determine what I wanted to do going forward, as far as like making sure that I was on this straight path and straight trajectory to success. And honestly, like I learned because life hit me hard, and I learned that success doesn't just, you check off all your boxes and you just go. It's really something where you have to expect the twists and turns that are coming in, and it really makes you into a better person. But I'll explain more of what's going on in a different video because it will take a long time, but just kind of give you like a little bit of description of what I felt like on a daily basis. I felt like I had dug myself into a dark hole, and it was just getting deeper and deeper each day. And it just felt as though I was feeding into all the negativity, and I was beginning to feel very hopeless. And I got to a point where I had dug myself so deep that the darkness was just clouding around me, and the light that was once there at the surface just started to become more of a pinpoint. And I wasn't excited about anything. I wasn't wanting to do things that, left me with personal enjoyment. My worship was a lot different. So many things had changed, and if you're probably watching this as somebody who knows me, you probably didn't realize any of this was going on because I do a very good job at masking those things behind something else. So at that time, I was studying for a very major exam to get me to the point in life that I wanted to go to. And I was also about to graduate. So I had I think 2 more semesters left of school, and then I was going to graduate. So during that time, I just made myself appear to be more focused on school and just study, study, study constantly. So during that time, I just remember like, yes, like there would be days where I would just cry, whenever I was on my own, of course. And I would just ask, like, why do I have to go through this? Why does it have to be me? Why right now? And it just became like a daily ritual, and it was just terrible because, like I said, like it was just always focusing on the negativity and never looking at the positives in my life, like the fact that I had woken up healthy that day. So I got to a point where I remember sitting in church and I would just feel completely numb. Like I said, my worship was not the same. I wasn't responding to the things that I normally would, like whenever I'd hear an encouraging biblical story or different scriptures. It just wasn't the same for me. And I remember it was either during benediction or it was during like the morning announcements. There was a minister there, and I want to thank you, Dr. Menengal, because you responded to God at the exact time that he told you to in the exact way that he told you to. And I appreciate that because that helps me tremendously. I was sitting there in the pew, and she could sense that something was wrong. She walked up to me and she asked me, God, whatever it is, he's going to be able to handle it, right? And I just kind of sat there and I looked at her like, I didn't make any motions to respond or to agree. I just sat there. And then finally she asked me again, and she put her hand on my shoulder and asked more firmly, God is going to handle whatever it is, right? And I finally nodded my head yes, very weakly, but there was just like a glimmer of hope there. So after that, like, it made me want to do a fast because I felt like it was just time. Like, I needed to fast, I needed to pray, I needed to spend that alone time with God. And like you saw in my previous Shabbat Thought video, I the beach is considered to be my oasis. I went to the beach, I used that time to pray and to spend that alone time. Finally, I realized, like, after I would say about a week of doing that, the light at the end of the hole at the surface was getting brighter. And after years of doing this and spending that quiet time with God, I realized that I am the light. So, just a little bit of a testimony for those of you who are going through this. So, take care.